Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Simternship by Stukent. In this video, we are going to walk through round 7, our first social media influencers round. To start round 7, we want to look back at our results from round 6, as well as all of the previous rounds. So I encourage you to click on either Post Analytics to look at the analytics from round 6, or click on Post History, and you can see all of your previous posts. Remember, you can click on the feedback and review the feedback provided by Stukent to help you improve in future rounds. So please go through each of these. Once you've gone through your results, we can look at our review scenario. We have a note from the Vice President of Marketing. Then we have our assignments and goals. Because we are starting a new type of round, we want to spend a little extra time looking at each of these. So for our assignments, we want to review the analytics and historical data. We did that already. Hopefully you've done that in more detail. And any other of our documents, including the influencer guide. So our influencer guide is new this round, which will open in just a minute. Then it tells us for this week, we're going to select and schedule influencers that can help promote Buoy's OG backpack. So this is going to be important for us in this round, focusing on the OG backpack. Then we also want to make sure to respond to questions in our chat. Looking down at our goals, we have an impression goal of 1,050,000 impressions and a revenue goal of 30,000. After we've looked at this information, we can go up to our inbox and we have an email from the Vice President of Marketing. Tells us this week we'll focus on jumpstarting a new influencer marketing effort, again for that OG backpack. It tells us last time Buoy invested in influencer marketing, the results were less than optional. Also tells us information that we have the influencer portion of the social media brand guide. We have some information about selecting influencers. Please make sure to read about the cost per engagement. It's an essential metric to track as you'll need to maximize your reach while staying within our budget. So we want to look at our brand guide for more information on that. I will let you guys do that on your own. It tells us this week we'll need to create a campaign brief. And moving forward, we have our tasks for the week. So reviewing our analytics from previous rounds, looking at all of our documents, allocating our budget, selecting our influencers, and responding to our chat. Down at the bottom of this email, we do have our influencer guide. So I already opened our influencer guide here, and we can see that this gives us information on the types of influencers we have based on reach. And it gives us information here on the cost ranges. So this tells us the costs vary depending on the influencer type and the audience reach. So they are using dollar signs to indicate the pricing for each influencer. So we have $3 signs, $2 signs, and $1 sign. So this tells us how much the influencer would charge for the set of posts that they would create. So one thing to note here is that the $3 signs are from $15,000 to $20,000. If I go back to my simulation, you'll notice you only have a budget of $10,000. That means these $3 sign influencers are likely not going to fit within our budget. We can continue scrolling down, which gives us information on each type of influencer, as well as pros and cons of using these influencers. If I go back over to my simulation, we can click on our chat messages. In this round, we have 5. So we want to click on each of these and respond appropriately. After we have our chat messages, we can come back to our market information. This is the same as our previous rounds. As a reminder, we're focused on this OG backpack. And let's look at our market information to see which profiles match best with the OG backpack. So if I start with Energetic Jill, I can see Energetic Jill aligns best with the rooftop tote and the Atlas duffel. This tells me that Energetic Jill is not going to be one of the markets that I want to focus on for this round. If I click on Up and Comer Raj, we have two types of messenger bags. Again, we're focused on the backpack, so this would not be a good fit. Seaside Sally focuses on tote bags. City Hopper Sue focuses on luggage and a messenger bag. Daypacker Tom has our OG backpack, an American Dream backpack, and a Tactics backpack. So this tells us Daypacker Tom is an audience that we want to focus in on for this round. Then we have Hipster Mom Cami, two types of tote bags, and Back to School Mindy. Back to School Mindy has the Aurora backpack and Legacy backpack, as well as a messenger bag. Even though these two backpacks are not the OG backpack, we might still consider focusing one influencer on the Back to School Mindy profile to see if we can promote that OG backpack. Let's look at our review documents. As a reminder, the Reynolds Research Report, the Social Media Audit, and the Brand Guide are the same as before. And then we have our new influencer guide. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our influencers that we can choose from. So when we're scheduling influencers, we have some steps we should follow. Please read those, analyze the data, analyze our influencers, select our strategy, and then build a brief. We also have a walkthrough video here that I encourage you guys to watch before you start selecting influencers. After you've done both of these, we can now schedule our influencers. Our influencers are broken down by the budget. So we start with the most expensive influencers at the top, and then we have the least expensive influencers down at the bottom. I'm going to select one influencer just so we can look at the information provided before we start scheduling our actual influencers. So here we have our influencer's name, gender, age, what their focus is, and some information about who they are. We also have statistics about their gender, age range, and interests. We have a quality score and our cost per engagement metric and overall performance. For the videos, I'm not going to go through each of these items for all of our influencers. However, I encourage you guys, before you schedule any influencer, to look through this information and to see how the influencers are similar, and then see how other influencers are different. Okay, let's schedule an influencer. As a reminder, we only have a $10,000 budget, so our $3 sign influencers are not going to align. So I know I need to focus on a $2 sign or a $1 sign influencer. Let's pick a $2 sign influencer. So let's start looking at each of these to see which of our $2 sign influencers resonates best with our Daypacker Tom audience. I'm going to start with Jake Larsen. So let's click on Jake's profile. We've got rugged outdoor adventurer, 70% audience is male, 60% is 18 to 34 ages, which is within our age range of 24 to 31. We've got interests that align with the Daypacker Tom audience: hiking, backpacking, fitness, nature, outdoor, camping, travel. So this looks like it might be a good fit. A quick scan of my performance metrics. This looks like a pretty good influencer. So let's go ahead and select Jake Larsen. So once I've selected my influencer, I have 3 packages I can pick from. First one is a brand ambassador bundle, a branded content bundle, and a giveaway bundle. So take a moment to read through each of these packages. I'm going to select the giveaway bundle at $4,050. So if I click on my giveaway bundle, I can then continue with this package. And now I'm on my campaign brief. So we have our objective, our target audience, our brand voice, our campaign message, and our call to action. So as a reminder, we're using the giveaway bundle. So my target audience, we already know we're focused on Daypacker Tom. So we can click on Daypacker Tom. If I look at my campaign objective, I've got several options to choose from: awareness, reach, engagement, traffic, lead generation, conversion, and sales. Because I selected the giveaway bundle, I am going to choose increased engagement. Now I want to come down to the call to action. So we have several options again: see catalog, learn more, book now, watch video, subscribe, and shop now. I received comments from my previous posts that my call to actions were not strong enough. So I'm going to pick shop now. I'm going to come back up to my brand voice attributes. And in our brand voice attributes, we have several choices. So it tells us our brand and our tone comes across as friendly, confident, inspirational, playful, and adventurous. So this is how we want our influencer to come across to our audience. To figure out which option we should choose from, let's go back and look at our brand guide. So in our brand guide, we do have the buoy brand and the buoy voice. So if I click on this section, I have information about what is the buoy brand, and I have information on the buoy voice. So the voice tells us they have authenticity and they are human. Here it tells us the voice is friendly, confident, inspirational, playful, and reliability. So I want to select an option that includes each of these 3 brand voice elements. So if I come back up to my simulation, I can scroll through and see which of these matches the brand voice. The last thing I want to do is select my campaign message. And this is the message for our audience. So here, the first option tells us that OG Backpack is designed for the fashion-forward student. Because we're targeting Daypacker Tom, the fashion-forward student is likely not a good fit. Then we have a seasoned traveler. We have a professional with laptop and important documents. We have an active lifestyle, a day at the beach, and made for adventure. So we have 2 options that might work. We have one for the active lifestyle, and we have one for the adventurer. Because we're focused on Daypacker Tom, and we've got the hiking, hunting, work versus play, we've got heading to the office, the backpack makes you feel prepared for anything, work essentials to camping supplies, I'm going to select this option. Now that we have all of our campaign brief elements, we can click on Schedule Influencer. So once I've scheduled my influencer, I can see the cost is $4,050, and I still have almost $6,000 remaining in my budget. For the purpose of the video, I'm only going to schedule one influencer. However, because you do have additional budget left over, I encourage you to schedule additional influencers before running your round. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and submit my round, and we can see how we did. Okay, if I click on Start Round 8, I can see that I scored 55%, which is not great. I can see that I've got about half of my impression goals and a little bit over half of my revenue. In the next video, we'll start by looking at our results, and we can look at the feedback that we received to then decide how we want to schedule our future influencers. So good luck to you guys in round 7, and I will see you back here for round 8.